were three different. There's a men's bathhouse and a women's bathhouse, but it was on the other side, and that took time to get to.
Yeah.
And so you could run down to this side, you come out the back of Clark and run down, you could get down to the other side if you had your clothes on, and then you would just take your top layer off, and then we would go in and swim for half an hour and come back out. And then shake like dogs, throw a shirt on, and come back in our suits and sneak into the, into the gym and get back into our clothes.
That's so fun.
That was in the summer term. You see, we went 3 terms in those days because of the war.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I graduated. I spent 1 year at Cornell. I was off for a year, and then I went to Clark, and I graduated in 2 3/4 years.
Wow. We're doing very similar things now.
Huh?
We're doing.
Yeah, they're doing very similar things now.
We will go swimming when we're out of work or whatever as well. So.
Yeah, it's hard going, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
At least I found that it was. It's kind of hard to make myself work. Quite frankly, I didn't have a very good work ethic in those days.
You like to play.
Oh, I loved it.
You love to dance. Were there a lot of dances at Clark or nearby?
Oh, yeah. Well, there was always a school dancing. I mean, I don't know, I don't remember, I don't think it was every week, but there were like maybe one of the sororities would have a dance, and then maybe there'd be 2 school dances, fall and spring, and those are the school dances. Mm-hmm. And then there were the other dances that were, as I said, they were small ones, but there were half a dozen different fraternities and sororities, and they had their little dances, and they were pretty clubby. Mm-hmm. All of them. Good, bad, indifferent, whatever. But there was never any real saying, well, I belong to.
Yeah.
You just did.
Yeah.
You did. And if you didn't, you didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now, were there places to go around the city that Clark students could go to for a dance?
Where our dances are mostly at school.
At school, yeah.
Yeah, every once in a while. Well, I think I'm trying to think. The YWCA.
That's right.
They had dances. Now, I don't know about the YM. I don't recall going there. But I know I went to a couple of them, and I think they may have been joined YMY. I don't recall.
Yeah.
Because it was just a couple of them that I went to.
Nothing big.
Very big. Those were big dances, and then there were the sorority and the fraternity dances.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize they had sororities and fraternities then.
Huh?
I didn't realize they had sororities and fraternities then.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because it was, when I was there in the 60s, there were fraternities. There were no sororities.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then right after I left,
Now they're banned.
they're gone.
Yeah.
They started to...
No, there were sororities. I can't even remember what they are. I can't remember any.
Right.
It's
Wasn't a big deal.
no. Either you were or you weren't. And that was it. I can't even remember what they all were, including mine.
Right.
It was just not.
Were you in one?
Yeah.
You were. Did it have to do with bridge?
Huh?
I said, did it have to
I
do with
was
bridge?
not probably one of the. I think I wasn't one of the young women that some of the young women who ran the sorority, which I think was Alpha Phi, but I'm not sure. They sort of knew I was there, but I was never terribly active. I went to the dances,
Right.
but beyond that, I was not terribly active in that. And I had other fish to fry.
So were there
Other
any
clubs.
other Clark clubs or
Oh, there were a whole bunch of clubs and things.
that you liked, that you took part in? Bridge.
Well, that was the
That wasn't
club.
formal.
No.
No.
Oh no! Let me tell you,
Was it?
no one no one in the faculty group liked the fact that we all played bridge and that we were often playing bridge when we should be in their class.
Right. Right.
That was something that was supposedly a no-no, but I'm not sure who it was for.
Right.
I know I had my partner. We had partners.
Oh.
Sometimes it was sit down and, 3 different people, 3 or 4 different, but mostly it was, you had partners.
That's cool.
And, so that in itself created a bit of a break, if you want to call it that way, because not all of us were off with the same class at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that fact didn't dig in that much until after 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And by 4 o'clock, and then you had the lab things. Again, I'm trying to remember, but from 4 o'clock on, it was hard, because usually it ran from 4 to 6, and by that time, whatever you were doing, you were ready to go home.
Right.
Or to go to if you lived there, to go. Well, you had to figure out your classes, which is, I can't imagine as I think back what happened. If you lived in the campus, which most people did not, there was just a small group, more boys than girls, just the White House and the old brick house,
Mm-hmm.
the old dorm. Those are the only 2 places for out of towners. And the rest of us were all townies.
Mm.
So it was a different way of doing things. The townies did have their own little group, of course. I don't know much about it because I wasn't involved. Barbara.
Anderson?
Huh?
Anderson?
She would know more. She lived on campus.
Yeah.
And she lived in the dorms. And she was a pet.
Yes.
She was Papa's pet. But she would have a lot of information. If anybody were looking for her, she would be the one I could think of
Mm-hmm.
that would be best informed of the girls of the first class.
Yeah.
Now, there are some more, but I know that BA was, she was so very active, and as I said, she was teacher's pet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the teacher, actually, it was the dean. There were younger people wanting to, and you ought to be talking to her about a lot of things that she knows that I don't, because she lived on campus. I lived off, but I lived close.
Right.
I could walk from here to Clark in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I wanted as a bird flies.
Yeah.
And I can go, I could go down back roads and little things, and then in 20 minutes I could be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I can see where if you lived in Worcester, once your classes were done, unless you had labs, you just go home. So it would be
We would hang out at the library.
Would you?
And there
Oh.
was a men's room, a big room on each side of of the brick building.
Right.
Huh? The big center building, when you came in, you turn left, and there was a huge room there. That was for the women. And you turn right, and there was one like it for the men.
Oh, okay.
So you could hang out there.
Right.
We hung out there. There were a lot of bridge tables.
Oh. So was that in the stacks?
And we used to I know darn well the faculty would look in there and count noses to find out,
Who was studying and who was playing bridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when they
truth comes
discovered
out.
sometimes that people played bridge and studied, it was a surprise, a big surprise. Some of us still studied it, and some of us didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where the old library was?
It was in where the geography.
Yeah, geography building is. And the geography building took over the old library.
Oh, I never used their library.
Yeah,
And now,
The big we all used the big library.
yeah.
yeah, and now that's
Well,
all
the geography
teachers'
building
spaces.
was geography underlined.
Uh-huh.
Period. You could knock on the door or look in.
Yeah,
I mean, that was.
but they ended up taking over the old library.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, a lot of it.
Ah.
Yeah,
Well, of course they built the other.
they built the other one.
They
Yeah,
built the other one. Yeah.
but I use that old library too. I use the old library
I love
too.
that library.
Oh, I did too. You could get lost.
Yeah.
You could literally get lost.
I worked there as well,
Yes, that's right.
and why did I have a good job? And I got paid 25 cents an hour.
That's a lot of money.
That was a lot of money in those days. Mostly it was 10 cents an hour.
Mm.
Hendy liked me, and I liked books. Hendy was
Perfect.
Good
Hendy
combination.
was Miss Henderson who ran the library.
Yeah.
No, she liked, but I worked. I mean, and I suspect, as I look back, that this has something to do with it. But I was, if you had a job, you worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I had jobs up until the time I went to college, and I worked. So I had a job in college, and I still worked.
Yep.
And a lot of the kids figured it was, figured that this was, a free ride. I don't know what happened to her, but I know Hendy was real good to me, but I worked. I mean, she told me to do something, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Of course, the other thing is I always liked books. That
Me too.
helped.
Good. Do you have any more questions?
I think I'm good. We have 47 minutes of footage, so I think that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Do you have anything else to talk about Clark, either in the fun stuff, the spree day, things that you wouldn't mind talking about on film?
Like when Spree Day was, I think I told you this
Yeah.
Spree Day one.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think that one I should advertise. I wish I could remember his name.
Yeah,
Uh,
tall guy.
Oh, I want to know.
I know.
He was crippled.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, like,
Everybody talks about this guy.
yeah.
He's tall. But he was crippled, and he was really nice, right? I've heard this before.
No, he and I got along pretty well when I got to getting into mischief.
So you and he performed
we-
other mischief besides water balloons?
Not all, no.
No. Okay.
But that was a supreme one.
That-
And
that's
we didn't get
perfect.
caught. Nobody
you
knew
never
we did
did.
it. Nobody knew we did it.
Uh-oh, now the
And I
world
doubt if
does.
anybody knows today but me,
Yes.
unless he talked about it,
Right.
and I doubt it.
Yeah.
That's something that all Clarkies should know about because that's perfect.
Yes.
That's
I
great.
don't know who it was. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
It will come up again, probably in some of our
I'm
stories.
wondering if he was the guy who was crippled. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I remember you telling me this before.
Yeah. I wish it's one of these things. You do these things and,
Yes.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Good for you.
I can't give you an accurate name. I can't think of anybody, but there was one young man who was crippled. I think he was born that way.
Mhm.
I can't remember his name. I knew him well, but I cannot remember his name. If I got out I probably could if I got out of,
Yeah, maybe we can look at some point.
yeah,
Would you mind if we came back sometime?
I got the books right there
Yeah.
if you want them.
Yeah.
Want to look?
Yeah,
What,
she's got
you have
all
time
her
to look
yearbooks.
now?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
turn
I
it
can
off.
turn this off.
It's 2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of
All right.
time.